Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Leanne and I've got a what's for dinner video for you today. I'm filming my intro outside because it's gorgeous and I'm sitting outside editing, but the birds are going and some loud vehicle somewhere is doing something. But nonetheless, I have 4 quick and easy, delicious dinners to share with you. These are some of our favorites and they all come together in about 30 to 45 minutes. We had them over the course of a couple weeks. Basically, if I wasn't filming a video for something else, but I had a great dinner, I would just film it and save it up. And now I've got 4 recipes, so I'm putting them all together in this video for you. Let's get started with the first recipe. All right, guys, so I have a voiceover for this first recipe, but I have about 3 cups of shredded chicken, and you can cook that any way you want. And then I'm adding in about I think I did a little less than 8 ounces. All right, let me start over here, but I'm not starting over. I got this recipe from Jessica O'Donoghue. Her channel is awesome. I will try to find this video and link it for you. And I took her recipe for buffalo chicken taquitos and I altered it a little bit because her recipe has them being air fried. I don't know if it's her recipe or recipe she shared. I'm going to link the video and you can see all of it. She'll have all the information. So I altered it a little bit because I wasn't making quite the same amount, but you basically have shredded chicken, cream cheese, shredded cheese, and some hot sauce or buffalo sauce. And you're going to mix it all together. So that's Deb just going to say that much. But you should check, if you don't know Jessica O'Donoghue's channel, then I don't know where you've been on YouTube because her and her husband are just delightful. Anyways, I have a greased baking dish, and then I have the small flour tortillas. These are from Aldi. I think they're 6-inch. And I am just going to fill them and roll them and put them in the pan. So I took Jessica's recipe, and then I think I looked up another recipe for like taquitos or flautas or whatever, just to determine about how long to put them in the oven. But it's really just going to depend on, you know, your temperature and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just going to, I overstuffed them. I'll always overstuff those. But you're going to just fill up this yummy mixture into these flour tortillas and then line them up in the pan. The recipe I think that I found for baking them was for about 18 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees. But that may or may not be your situation. So just do it. And so, you know, keep an eye on them. You don't want them to burn them. I do fill them up and then grease them across the top and then put them in the oven. Yes, so here we are, spraying them across the top with some cooking spray. And I didn't actually use up all of the mixture, but that was as many as I could fit in that pan. And I just used it as a dip with chips on another day. So yeah, 400 degrees for 18 minutes. And they came out beautifully. These were so good. You can dip them in ranch or whatever you want to do. We just ate these with a side salad and absolutely loved these. Hello friends, for tonight's dinner we are having beef ramen stir fry. I will have the recipe linked for you, but and I know I've shared it with you before, but it's been a while, so I figured I'd include it in this video. I'm changing it up a little bit. I don't have any fresh onions because the entire bag apparently sprouted and spoiled before I got to use it, which is kind of annoying. I thought onions were supposed to last like a while. Anyways, and I'm gonna add in carrots, which the recipe does not call for, but I feel like carrots are good to add to stir fry. I'm gonna start by getting these all cut up. I will cut them up into like little matchsticks. Feel free to not do that, but I just feel like that's how they should be for stir fry. And I always adjust the amounts that we use. We use more noodles and more sauce than the recipe calls for. Plus I'm adding in more veggies. So anyways, you'll see. I might do more than 3 carrots. I'm gonna chop them all up and see where we're at, but I will be back with you in a moment. All right, so let's get started with this. I've done some of the prep work, but it's very quick even with the prep work. It's really not a lot of prep work. By that I mean I cut up the carrots. So heating in a skillet over low to medium high heat. We're gonna throw in the carrots. I did just do the 3 of them. And then I have 1 bag of frozen broccoli that I pulled out a little while ago just to soften them up a little bit. I'm gonna give them a rough chop because sometimes they're really big pieces, and then I'll toss them in here. All right, we're gonna add in this broccoli. It's gonna get sizzly.
I'm gonna throw a lid on this just to speed that up a little bit. I also have over here, I have a pot of water coming to boil, and I'm going to cook some ramen noodles. No seasoning, just the noodles. I'm gonna do 4 packs. The recipe calls for 2. I'm also gonna double the sauce, which we'll go work on that right now. All right, so I am approximately doubling the sauce. Usually do on stuff like this, and I'm using coconut aminos instead of soy sauce, but you can use soy sauce. So I want about 1/2 cup. The original recipe is for 1/4 cup. And then I'm going off of memory here. I think it was 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. So I'll add in 2. And then garlic, I don't know. We'll just add in that much. And then I think it's 2 teaspoons of sriracha. So I would be doing 4. This one is almost done here. Let's see what I can get out. I got my other bottle out, but I think I'll just do whatever's left in there. And we'll mix this together and then set this aside. Super easy. This dinner is so delicious and comes together in less than 30 minutes, seriously. And you can either skip the carrots or already buy like the pre-cut ones, or just skip it because it's not in the recipe originally anyway. All right, I'm taking the lid off now. I got a nice good head start on the cooking, but I want obviously the liquid to come off from the frozen broccoli and the broccoli to finish cooking. So I'm just gonna maybe turn this up just a little bit more and let it go till the veggies are tender. All right, veggies are tender. So we're just gonna remove these from the pan. You would also cook your onion at this time if you were having onion. Wow, I'm really steaming you out. Hang on. All right, now we're just gonna add in 1 pound of ground beef and cook that up. All right, guys, it's pretty steamy in here. I've got some, the noodles cooking over here. They are almost done. This is pretty much done. I'm gonna throw in a good amount of minced onion. I already drained the fat. I'm just gonna throw this in here since we didn't have any fresh onion. So I'm gonna pull this off of the heat and we're gonna mix this all together as soon as the noodles are done in about 1 minute. All right, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I have our noodles that were drained. I just added in the sauce that we made earlier. We're gonna add in all of our veggies and we're gonna add in our meat. I'm mixing it all in this pot because it's bigger than my skillet. I like to mix it with tongs because I feel like it's just easier that way. And that is it. A lot of times the meat ends up settling at the bottom. So when you serve it, you just gotta be mindful of that. Jesse likes to top his with some water chestnuts. I don't, but either way is good. And that is our dinner for tonight. And I would definitely say it takes less than 30 minutes or about 30 minutes to put together. Hi guys, so for tonight's dinner, I'm needing something pretty quick and easy. I did not have a dinner plan for today. Today is a Sunday. So I'm gonna make a 1-pot, it says it's a chicken Parmesan 1-pot meal. I don't know if I can call it chicken parm if it's not like breaded, but nonetheless. So to get started, I have my pot heated up to about medium. Well, it wasn't medium. I must have, did I move it? I don't know. About medium with a little bit of olive oil, and we're gonna cook up some chicken. I've cubed it up. Mine is still a little bit frozen, but it should be fine. So we're gonna cook that up. While this is cooking, we're going to season with some salt, some garlic powder. I will have the actual recipe linked for you if you want to follow a recipe. And some Italian seasoning, and you can also use pepper too if you like to cook with pepper. Wow, I just got seasoning everywhere. I don't even know if you can see that, but I don't like to cook with pepper, so I skip it. If these pieces were thawed, it would probably take about 5 to 6 minutes. I'm thinking it might take more like 8, but they're partially thawed. So I'm just gonna cook these until they are done. All right, guys, we're a little steamy, but you are right over the stove. And I did just turn off the vent so that you could hear me. I'm gonna take this chicken out that is cooked and put it aside. Now the recipe does say that you can let the chicken just be like mostly cooked because it will cook a little bit longer when we put everything together. All right, now we're gonna add to the pot some minced garlic. And then I'm gonna add some just like dried minced onion because I don't have any fresh onion. And we're just gonna let this cook for a couple of minutes. All right, now I'm gonna add an entire jar of sauce. I'm using this one from Aldi. I'm gonna go fill up this jar with water. So I just made a mess. Fill it with water. I shook it around and then I made a mess when I opened it. And we're gonna bring this water up to a boil. All right, guys, so we have it up to a boil. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit here. We're gonna put in 1 pound of pasta. This is what I am choosing to use. Love this brand from Aldi. And then we're also going to put our chicken back in. And we're gonna let this cook until our pasta is done. So for us, it should be 13 to 15 minutes, but it's gonna vary based on your pasta. All right, so our pasta is pretty much done. I will say I've never cooked pasta like this, like in sauce water combo. But if you haven't either, I definitely found that I needed to stir the pasta a little bit more because it's soaking up so much of the liquid that it has a better chance of sticking. So now I'm gonna add in, I think the recipe says to do like 1/4 cup now and 3/4 cup at the end. I'm just doing it all now. Of shredded cheese. It calls for mozzarella. This is mostly mozzarella. Sorry, I'm totally blocking the camera. This is mostly mozzarella. It's a little bit of Monterey Jack too. It's just what I already had shredded in the fridge. It does say to put like 1/4 of it in, mix it up, and then put the rest on top just to let it melt, but I don't care. I'll just put it all in. And then I think it was 1/2 cup of Parmesan. I'm gonna take the cap off of this, hang on. I like to use this Parmesan and Romano combo, but of course you could, use whatever you want. You could use some freshly grated stuff as well. And we're just gonna mix this together and be ready to eat. All right, just topped with a little bit more Parmesan and some parsley. And that is our 1 pot chicken parm. For tonight's dinner, we are doing something really easy. We are gonna have some barbecue chicken tacos, and I just started by cutting up some chicken into some little pieces, and I'm just gonna cook them up really quick, but you just want cooked chicken. However you wanna do it, it's fine. It can be leftover chicken, you could boil it, shred it, whatever. I am just seasoning with some garlic powder, onion powder, and some salt, and we're just gonna get this cooked up. Just I figured this would be a nice, quick, easy way to do that. All right, so as this is cooking, I'm just checking to make sure it's done, and I'm cutting them in half, partially to see if they're done. And then I was like, you know what, I actually think I want smaller pieces because I want to be able to just, spread it all over our nachos. I will show you how we do our nachos. I've shared it before on my channel. We like to do them sheet pan style, but you can also obviously just do like individuals like on your plate or whatever. But I'm going to show you how we like to do them. So I'm just cutting them up because I want, when I eat things like nachos or salads, I like to have a little bit of everything in every bite, which just means you have to have smaller pieces of things. So now that this is all cooked, I'm going to remove this and put it in a bowl. Then we're going to add the sauce. I would do it in here, but there's a little bit of grease and stuff in here that I don't want to mix in with the sauce. So we're just going to pull this out into a bowl. All right, this is one of my favorite barbecue sauces, and I am just going to pour some of this on the chicken because I like the chicken to really be flavored. Holy cow, I don't know if you can hear that, but it just started pouring out there. You can hear the rain hitting the window. I really like the chicken itself to taste like barbecue sauce. We'll probably add more onto our nachos, but I like to do it like this. I mean, there's really no wrong way to do nachos, but the purpose of sharing this is for you to see how we do nachos. All right, so I have a greased, doesn't hardly look greased. That's because I spread out the oil. I did grease it, but now I'm doubting myself. Hang on. It doesn't look greased enough. It's because the spray on this thing is not that great. All right, I lined a cookie sheet with foil and we've sprayed it. We're gonna do everything right on here. First gonna put down a layer of chips. I prefer these. This is what we normally have, but I also have some white ones because my husband had requested these a while ago. So I'm gonna do half and half-ish so that we can use them both up. I'm gonna do my best to distribute the meat. This is also really good as like buffalo chicken nachos, where you mix it with like the chicken with buffalo sauce. So many options. We love nachos of all kinds. We do steak nachos, beef nachos, chicken nachos. Pork nachos are good. We don't have a lot of like pulled pork, but that's really good. Leftover pulled pork on nachos is a great option. All right, now we're just gonna top with cheese. If you are doing like beef nachos, we put a lot more toppings on that. You could put corn or beans or whatever. Anything that you want hot is what you're gonna put in at this point. And then we'll pop this in the oven. I have the oven preheated to 415. Sometimes I do it at 400. Whatever you want to do. Just keep an eye on it. It'll probably take about maybe 10 minutes. I do take the time to try to evenly distribute because I want every bite to be full of goodness. We'll pop that baby in the oven for about 10 minutes. All right, got it pulled out of the oven. While I was in there, I just chopped up some lettuce. We're just gonna do lettuce and tomato. Again, kind of varies depending on the kind of nachos we do. And we will eat these straight off of the sheet pan, and it makes cleanup super easy. But if that doesn't work for your family, you can either make them individually or, you know, use a spatula to serve them off of here onto your individual plates and then top them. Whatever you want. I don't like quite as many tomatoes on my side as Jesse does, but it's definitely still room to customize it. All right, and then I will let him come in and put the sauces on just because he does such a beautiful job with that. All right, so we added on some barbecue sauce and some ranch. That is it. Super simple. Love, love, love this dinner.
All right, well, I hadn't filmed an outro either, so that is it for today's video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe if you are new, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.